Guys, something crazy's happened. I'm actually home alone and can actually get some things done. So, why don't you come along with me? What kind of man doesn't have a knife? Guys, definitely get a weed torch. Even if it's just for the cool factor alone, it's worth it. Hey guys, I want to tell you guys a story. 3 years ago I had about the best garden of my life, and it was awesome. The following year I had high expectations, and in the spring we had tons and tons and tons of rain. And what happened was we went on vacation. When we came back, the entire garden was just swamped with weeds. And with everything else going on, I gotta be honest, the garden was pretty much a total loss. And all those weeds, unfortunately, went to seed and dropped all their seeds in here. And then last year when I planted the garden, it was a never-ending battle, and I ended up losing that battle too to the weeds. This year I vowed to not let that happen again. I noticed that in the Amish community a lot of times they use a artificial ground cover, such as a black plastic or something of that sort, and that kind of gave me the idea. And then just so happened I noticed on Living Traditions Homestead on YouTube, and I'll put the link to their channel below, that they went to this artificial ground cover, this woven fabric that is permeable to rain. And I decided that I was going to win the battle against the weeds this year. So anyway, I am going to put this on as much of the garden as I can until I run out, and I'm not losing to the weeds this year. Alright guys, different day. Shortly after I stopped filming there, it started to rain and I wanted to get my camera out of the rain. I didn't want to ruin my equipment, so I had to stop recording. However, I did stay out in the rain and planted the rest of my tomatoes. I'll show you those right now. Alright, I did have one tomato left I am going to plant. I'm going to go ahead and plant and show you guys how I do it, show you the proper way. Actually, I won't call it the proper way, because who am I to say what's the proper way? I'm going to show you the way that I plant the tomato. So I'm going to bring you over here and we're going to plant this one. Alright, here's my little tomato. One thing that I always do with my tomatoes is I make sure I plant them deep. They're about the opposite of a tree. The worst thing you could do with a tree is plant it too deep. With a tomato though, you do want to plant it deep. Every one of these little hairs that run up the stalk of the tomato are little root hairs. And if you get those underground, those will branch out and create a real nice root system for your little tomatoes, which will help them reach water and give them a good foundation to start with. I'm going to remove this pot because I don't trust it to biodegrade, and I am going to get rid of it. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these leaves. So I'm going to pick these off up the stalk. And that is all I'm going to leave. So we are going to plant this little plant clear up to about right there. That will allow it to have a very nice root system that's nice and deep into the soil. So I want to remove this pot. Okay. I'm going to dig me a nice deep hole. This woven ground cover, it's a little harder to work with when you're actually planting your plants, but it will be a godsend when the weeds start growing. What is the worst part about gardening? Don't we all agree that it's out here weeding? And if you can eliminate that, sorry, I got a little shaky there. If we can eliminate that, then gardening will be much more enjoyable. So, rock down there. Set this guy down in here, nice and deep. And I'm going to cover around the soil. Like so. Set it up. Pack it real good. And there it is. It makes your nice tomato plants look awfully small when they're in the ground, but that is going to be key to getting a healthy root system established. And I'm going to go ahead and water it now. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the Peachick video that I made the other day. One thing I didn't address was obviously I put 4 eggs in the incubator, and you might be wondering how many did I end up with. Well, the 2 Peachicks that you saw were the Peachicks that actually hatched. Early on in the incubation period, I candled them, and one of the Peachick eggs quit developing pretty early on. Unfortunately, I had another one that, as of a few days ago, was still moving around in the shell, and for whatever reason it hasn't hatched. And it's been about 4 more days, and I've candled them, and I see no more movement within that shell. Alright, I have it here. I believe this chick is no longer viable, so we're going to check it and see what happened. Looks like it's fully developed. Ugh. There it is. Poor little guy. What a shame. I don't know why it is that they get clear to the end and then they don't make it. It is fully formed. That is fully formed. That's too bad. I hate that. I can't tell you guys how much I hate that. I've had that happen before. I've had a few turkey eggs and some quail eggs that made it clear to the last few hours and they just die. I've heard it could be a humidity issue. Could cause shrink wrapping, but I don't feel like that Peachick was shrink wrapped. But that's very unfortunate. I had some people ask me when you order eggs on eBay if there's some kind of a guarantee that they'll hatch, and I've never seen a guarantee on eBay. They pretty much try to guarantee that they're fertile. I don't know how you would prove that they're not. But I know most of the eggs have an insurance on them when they go through the mail, so if they arrive broken, you can take that up with the post office or UPS or however they come. But as far as actually hatching, there's no guarantees. There's way too many variables that could play into whether they hatch or not. I mean, it comes down to how they're handled through the post office, the temperature at which, you know, they're traveling in, whether or not you properly incubated them, right temperature, humidity. There's just far too many variables for the seller to guarantee any kind of a hatch rate. So I had a 50% hatch rate. I wouldn't say that is extremely uncommon with shipped eggs. Shipped eggs typically have a lower hatch rate than if you were just to pull them directly off the farm and incubate them yourself. So anyway, that's unfortunate. I hate to see that. But I'm happy that we did get the 2 Peachicks. They look great. It's too bad I didn't get 3 or 4. But how exciting is that? We actually got Peachicks and I can't wait to watch them grow up. I hope I got a pair. What's the chances of that happening? I don't know. But we'll find out. And from what I've seen, it's really hard to tell whether you have a male or a female until they're 4 or 5 months old, and I guess even then it's still pretty difficult to tell. But I'll keep you guys updated and you'll see a lot more of them.